Alright, welcome back. Going to do the challenge now for this week. Start off with molehole area, onto the 2 plants. That way I have a quick path to a greenery next turn, and then copy it with robotic workforce. It's all you can afford is Ecoline. The reason I chose Ecoline is because plants are obviously great for scoring, and Credicor probably would have let me get a little bit more in money-wise, but it turns out Ecoline was just enough. So I can't afford anything Gen 2, having spent all my money, and so I just elect to place down the parameters. At this point, I'm trying to figure out where I should place my greenery such that I get the most value from it. Uh, Thought about maybe the plant, maybe I save it, but then I think, well, you gotta get the TR, right? You can't miss the TR in this situation. And so ultimately I decided to place it on the steel here, because that way I get a little bit more income, which is so crucial to getting all these cards down. And that's that. So, reminder, my strategy here is to get my heat up as fast as possible, to get all my plant cards down, and to get fish down, because those are my big points in this game. So I only take one card, and then it's Black Polar Dust. Use it for the right there in the middle, because I'm going to plan on doing a protected valley, and I want to get the income bonus, or ocean bonus, for placing something next to that ocean. Now, it would be nice if I could have gotten an eco zone down first before playing Protected Valley, but the truth of the matter is I just can't afford it. It's very critical that I get that down now and start placing as many greeneries as I can to get my income higher, and the points just can't be afforded on this gen. Now you might have noticed I had enough and I could have played lichen there, but I chose not to play lichen because I wanted to get it for with the eco zone, because now I can afford it. I don't have anything that I can particularly do this round, so I just go with the eco zone lichen development. Now, if I had likened in the previous round, then the eco zone would have gotten me an additional, could have gotten me an additional greenery here. But well, actually, I don't have anywhere to place that eco zone for 2 plants, so never mind. It actually works out fine like it is. Anyway, go ahead and get the victory point from there, and then lichen gives me half a victory point. Go ahead and increase the heat. Call it a day. So now I've hit this round I'm going to hit the critical 4% oxygen. That allows me to play ants. And ants can get kind of silly really quick with extreme cold fungus. I'm basically getting 1.5 victory points each generation with that combination. So that's my priority for this generation. Go ahead and get both of those online. Notice how I'm trying to put all my greeneries next to the ocean as much as possible. That way I get the ocean bonuses so I can afford as much of the stuff each generation as possible. Couldn't have done that without the ocean bonus. Increase the heat, so now I'm at 13 heat and leftover of 3, so that lets me get 2 bumps next turn. So Gen 7, now I can afford heat-wise to get grass down. And then the other card that I'm looking to get down here, and I'm trying to calculate all this stuff, is artificial photosynthesis. And there's two reasons why I want artificial photosynthesis to go down this generation. The first is I'm at 13 heat, but that's not quite enough to get 2 heat bumps a turn. But if I add 2 power rolling over from artificial photosynthesis, I'm now at 15 heat a turn essentially, which should let me get 2 bumps almost every generation to let me get to my animals quicker. The second reason, and I forgot to switch out the cards before then, which is why you see that weird cut. But and then the second reason is because I want to play Plantation. I already have one science tag with Robotic Workforce, and now Plantation is going to need a second science tag, and that's what artificial photosynthesis is going to give me. Well, it would if I could afford it. I'm one off. Sucks, but what can you do? So like I said, I'm definitely looking for a Plantation as my play this round. And I would also like to get bushes if I could afford it heat-wise, but I just can't. I'll be at minus 12, and there's no foreseeable way for me to get the bump here. I go ahead and buy bushes because minimize the amount of time I have to spend finding cards and editing them in. It takes a long time, which is why this video is not done in the app with me commenting and all that stuff. It's easier just to record it and edit it and then kind of try and fix everything in post, given how hard it is to do this. As you can see, I'm 3 plants away. If I had decided to maybe take plants in my extreme cold fungus, maybe I could have gotten the heat bump this generation, but that just feels irresponsible to be giving up like 4.5 points to do that. I don't think that's worth it. So you'll notice I don't have a lot of oceans down right now. It's because oceans were highly contested, and most of the ones I got will come on at the higher temperatures. And I think given that, my goal is just to try and get as many placement bonuses on the board that are not next to oceans. And then once I can start playing the oceans, start trying to get all the bonuses I can from them. But it's not worth it early on to pay the 18 mega credits to get those oceans down. So here's a cool thing. I took advanced ecosystems because it's really good for points. But it also has a plant tag, making it so that it'll give 1 more to insects. And I can actually afford everything here, and there's nothing else that I really want to play right now. Like the best I could do would be permafrost extraction, but that's not like a critical card or anything. So why not get an extra plant production now? So with that done, now Gen 10 comes around. And again, I'm still kind of poor. I'm having to figure out exactly what I can afford and what I have to pass on. And then ultimately I decide that permafrost extraction for another ocean to allow me to expand more is important. And then also underground city is important to start getting the income, the 4 income to play all my other stuff. I choose there because it gets me the most ocean adjacencies next to the city. And again, I'm trying to preserve my ocean adjacency, so I decided to go for the plant bonuses around Noctis since I'm going to play Noctis there. And the other important reason why I play Underground City there as opposed to maybe earlier is because notice that with those 2 energy rolling over, I'm going to get these 2 heat bumps to get to -2, and then the 2 rolling over with the 1 heat I've already got will be just enough to exactly get me to 2 degrees Celsius. And so keeping that power rolling over is not nearly as much of a concern anymore as much as it was since I've got fish locked down for next turn. So now that I've got that, I'm forced to try and figure out what I can do in this next generation. And I eventually decide, yeah, 4 cards is what I need. So the 4 cards I decide to take are Nuclear Power, Noctis City, Fish, and Lake Marineris. So Nuke Power does hurt my income a little bit, but I need to get it down for Noctis anyway. Noctis is basically, takes the -2, makes it +1, so it's still a net gain in income. And I like having the power roll over to help me get as much heat as I can for caretaker value. Lake Marineris goes down. Have to sell the cards I get. Now I get to make this really cool move where I get 12 cash back from placing them in these 2 pockets. That lets me get fish down, no problem. Which helps my eco zone a little bit. And Noctis is down for that extra little mega credit production. So notice here that if I had just relied on my heat going over, I'd be at 39 and I need 24. So that put me at 15 remaining, which means I would only get 1 use out of caretaker contract. That's the reason why it's important that I get a nuclear power down at some point here so that I can go ahead and get this energy rolling over so that I can get up to 16 so I can get 2 caretaker contract uses. Of course, all that being said, I think I could have maybe delayed that 1 generation and done Phobos Space Haven instead of Nuke Power Noctis City right there. That would have been +3 income instead of +1 income. And maybe that would have been a little better towards being able to afford everything. But it all worked out. And I'm not going to redo a video like this just for a slightly more optimal play. Just doing ant stuff. Look at that, it's up to 10 victory points already. Sell the ammonia asteroid that I got from putting down that card. Now I go ahead and caretaker contract instead of bumping my heat just to make sure I squeeze all the value I can out of it. And also put down the granaries besides oceans so that I can get as much value from that too. I don't want to place it between the two oceans because I want to do that with a third ocean there to get maximum value. Phobos is going to get me 6 mega credits back, so it's, not the greatest investment. Basically $19 or 22 when take the cost of buying it. 22 for 3 points, but with limited cards that I could take, it was important I could just get as many of the high victory point cards as I could, since the ability to get efficient points would be much more limited with the limited card format. And so I eventually decide I can only take one card this round, and it's going to be imported nitrogen. And that hits everything perfectly, brings my ants up to 24. So I'm now at 12 points on that card. Again, more ant things. Go ahead and do the aquifers just to get that extra little income for next round. And I do them on the minerals. I wish I'd been able to draft herbivores, because that'd have been worth a lot of points. Like I'm counting like 5 points worth right now. Meanwhile, my eco zone is only worth 4 points. So, yeah, maybe herbivores would have been better. Wonder what the drafting order was for that. I'll have to see when I grabbed eco zone. Yeah, I got Ecozone at 17 and Herbivores was taken at 20. Guess if I were to go back, I should have not taken Ecozone and instead done Herbivores. But, well, hindsight's 2020. Anyway, so final round, I decide to buy the last 5 cards that I plan on playing. I have to do the Aquifer there to finish terraforming the planet. You notice I do not have enough heat to do 2 and caretaker, so just have to give up on that third caretaker contract. So I only got 2 victory points from that, but not bad for a small investment I did. So I do ant stuff, and it comes up to a grand total of 15 points from ants. That is a crazy good ants value. So I'm very glad I got that. So now it's very important I figure out how to squeeze every last penny I can out of this card, out of the cards, because I've got some very expensive stuff to play here. So I decide maybe I could go up top for the 4 mega credits back, but then I realize I wouldn't be able to surround all my cities if I do that. So I decide, well, I'll go right there beside my city then, and I think I can afford everything. Now, if I were really trying to optimize it, I probably should have gone on the card so I could have sold the card. I think that'd have been the better play. But anyway, Immigrant goes ahead and goes down. Doesn't matter that I lose some income now because it's the last round. Draw 2 cards. I have to discard them. As much as I would have loved to have played Large Convoy, it was banned by me, so can't be played in this game. Breathing filters, along with research, gets me to 5 science tags, which lets me play Interstellar. And that leaves me with exactly enough money to play Tropical Resort. And that is that. Cannot do anymore. And so we pass, and I put down my final 2 greenery to surround my final city, leaving me with 3 cities surrounded by greenery, so it's 18 victory points from cities. Feels pretty good. So I get 144 points, but I did have to standard project 3 oceans, which under the rules of the challenge means I have to lose 3 victory points. So my total score is 141. Overall, I'm very happy with that score. It's higher than I thought I could achieve in this challenge, but certainly I feel like I made some mistakes with not taking herbivores earlier and maybe trying to get like a trees or a farming down as well for more plant production. But hey, we'll see how Beastly Guy and Rabid Moose do in their versions of the challenge, and best person win. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you guys later.